Alright, hello everyone, this is part 2 of the video. So let's get started into reading my sample essay. So we finished criterion A, which is the rationale. It took a while, but I think this will take a similar amount of time. Criterion B, C, D. Criterion B, as you can tell, it's basically all about the context and whether you're answering the question or not. And yeah. 8 marks max. Organization 5 marks. Language and style 5 marks. It's I don't know, it's very vague. I think they just go by the holistic approach. So let's just read it. So I wrote it to the letter to the editor of a paper magazine. I've stated the actual conventions of a letter, your address here, the recipient's address here. Make it, yeah. And this will give points for task and content because it's in the actual content. Yeah. So let's just start. Dear Miss Thompson, it has come to my attention that Paper Mag's recently published advertisement, "The Innocence is Sexier Than You Think," is blatantly disparaging and derogatory. As a former Harvard Law graduate, a current bureaucrat, and a father of 2 beautiful girls, I believe that this advert infiltrates preteens and adolescents' lives. These enhanced advertisements aren't only relevant to my daughter's lives, but also plays a significant part in all teenagers' lives, setting unattainable standards of beauty and creating psychological needs to fit in with society. I have done my research, and from reading Alyssa Quartz branded magazines, much like yours, create an unattainable but perceptible, I forgot what that word means, perceptible, well, hold on, noticeable, perceptible, unattainable but perceptible, but okay, world for of yearning of girls regarding standards of their self-esteem. My bad, this was a while back. I precisely remember 3 nights ago as Shayla, the elder daughter, strolled into her room, holding the newest edition of Paper Mag in her hands while I finished preparing my notes for Monday's upcoming trial on the latest domestic violence case. See, I think this is really, really clever what I did, because my persona is a Harvard Law graduate and a current bureaucrat, and I stated my persona is pretty smart, right? It's book smart, street smart. So I'm finishing preparing my notes on the latest domestic violence case. As a concerned father, I've reflected on how society is regressing ever so slightly, and the role magazine editors play in this world degradation. Upon giving my goodnight kisses to my daughter, I opened Shayla's bedroom door, only to see her reading a striking page of your magazine. See, that second person pronoun, really, really specific. It's your magazine because it's the editor's magazine. It's not, like I stated in my previous video, the company's problem. It's the intermediary, which is the editors of that magazine that has chosen to publish that advertisement headlined by an overly photoshopped girl with excessive makeup. So let's just look at the photo again. There. Sorry. I ruminated upon the sexualization of young girls, the infantilization of women, and whether Shayla had already become a robot of this drug. I was petrified at how and why little Shayla would model the paradigm of how society views a perfect young girl. While reading a Jean Kilburn article this past week, I realized America is no longer a country, but instead a multi-million-dollar brand. This message is fully reflected in your published advertisement. Companies are targeting naive females about what they like, and I think this could change. Instead of females, I could have said young girls or teenagers. As the editor have exposed the psychological natures of apertures in the human brains of wants and desires and allowed this advertisement to be published. What a shame. I think this is too wordy, in my opinion. That's such a long sentence. And I don't think you got psychological nature of apertures. I mean, you could, in a way, justify that since I'm a Harvard Law graduate and a current bureaucrat. And I'm like, really, really, not I, but the persona is really, really smart. He could just put over over overcomplicate the words like that. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I'm aware that this is not the first time Love's Cosmetic has approached you. This is the company that approached, or that published advertisement, has approached you to advertise on their behalf. But recently, contests published are widely inappropriate to be displayed in stores, with Miley Cyrus and Kim Kardashian posing completely naked for the latest editions of your magazine. Girls are feeling more insecure about how they look and how others in society view them. I think I could remove the others and how society views them. My wife works for the APA, and its recent study suggests that 50% of young girls are worried about their appearance. 37% are worried about their weight. Despite all of this, the crux of this advertisement is, how can I get viewed as hot? I think that's a lowercase h, no? How can I get viewed as hot in the perspective of various boys? And will applying these lipstick gain more attention despite my current appearance? I get it. As young girls may lack the physical appearance of the model, they turn to spurious advertisements, believe in them, and purchase products hoping to compensate for what they lack. In this generation, the target market for fragrance products instead of 15 to 23 years of age should be as low as 11 to 18. Thus, with the strengthening of youth consumerism in the last few decades, this advertisement encourages pedophilia and lust. In a sense, the sexier than you think is one of the most outrageous. Okay, so in this, the first part, like the first 4 paragraphs, it's basically denouncing, or putting down the editor into why you are the intermediary and why you suck, and why that advertisement is terrible, and why you chose to publish that advertisement. So that's bad. I mean, that's good. I mean, that makes it clear. That's organization. In this part, I tried to show my registering vocabulary, tone. I think language and style is good. I tried to be a bit too clever, and that I tried to analyze, because you can't just at the same time just tell a story or become the persona and not show the examiner that you know the implicit analysis, like you know what effects, the in-depth effects that advertisement creates to society in that context. So you gotta get a good balance between your persona and actually not an essay, but analyzing features of that primary text, which is that photo, in depth. This is a tricky bit. You gotta get a good balance of both. So let's just continue on. My first part was that the analyzing the persona, all the story, making it believable and everything. So this is the second part. Innocent is sexier than anything is one of the outrageous and detestable slogans I've encountered in my 48 years of life. Innocence and sexy do not go hand in hand, and portraying a 6-year-old girl as a sex idol is a sin. The slogan simply makes little girls seem like vulnerable. Seem like vulnerable targets. My personal understanding of your website has shown that the mission statement of Paper Magazine is to... Oh, I think this is where I drop marks. Of paper, so this is like 6 months again after reading my essay. So you pick up on things that you don't. Yeah. Paper Magazine is to explore pop culture just beyond the scope of the mainstream. Let me ask you, how outdated is this statement? And if I was to be brutally honest, the Forthright mission is currently along the lines of supporting child pornography or manipulating innocent young girls. I think this part is good, but I think it's irrelevant. No, actually, it's good. But this bit isn't right, because... Okay, this bit supporting child pornography kind of is correct, because you are like the third-party person that is mass-producing it. So the company, the magazine, is mass-producing the advertisement. Manipulating innocent young girls should be directed more towards the advertisement instead of this editor of the magazine. So I don't think this second part should be correct at all. It's so complicated. I don't know why I chose it to be the editor of a magazine. It sucks. I don't know. Should have been just directly the the supervisor or the senior lead of that advertisement. That's just, yeah, that's better. Do you have kids? If so, then would you want your children as a model on a magazine? Okay, that's good, because it's on that magazine. Because I gotta dial in at magazine, because that's my intended audience. In this advertisement, the image and camera angle of the young girl looks confident, seductive, and provocative. The intensity of the image mimics Uncle Sam look, enticing readers to purchase the perfume and ultimately gaining a new identity as well. Okay, that's good. Being accepted into cliques and peer pressure was the primary reason Shayla begged me to purchase this product for her. Why did you approve the colors? Okay, that's clever. That's sort of... Okay, why did you approve the colors of red and pink for this product? These colors have implicit connotations regarding sex, intimacy, and romance. And for these to be associated with younger children is completely incongruous. These are stupid mistakes. It's completely incongruous. Holly and Shayla growing up now, and while I do understand that there is no such thing as failed publicity, or such thing as publicity that fails as failed publicity. Okay, my daughters have yet to understand the fact that advertisements are photoshopped, enriched, and embellished. Nice. Try ads. Very, very, very good. The world of advertising seems to me like a manipulation game between various editors and advertising agency, and currently you, ma'am, are in the lead. In life, self-worth is the chief objective of why we live. There have been cases where young teenage girls have committed suicide and self-harm for not fitting in the norm of beauty and behavioral standards. My wife recently showed me another Gene Kilwell article on how advertising and addiction are most profoundly connected to self-deception. If this advertisement wasn't published, then Love Baby Soft wouldn't launch a successful advertising campaign. This may link to a chain reaction in which multinationals lack the ability to distort the perspective of teenagers. I believe that the primary step in reducing teenage self-harm is to reduce the level at which models are objectified. This will allow everyone to be unique in their own way, hence society perfection would be non-existent. Let me ask you, do you feel guilty for indirectly causing hundreds of suicides in exchange for a performance bonus due to successful advertising campaigns? Yours faithfully, my name. This is solid, but I think I lost marks. Organization is good. Language and style. Register is... I don't think... Reading back at this again, the persona of, what did I say? A former law graduate and a current bureaucrat. I don't think that's the best persona. It could be a former law graduate and a current motivational speaker. That might be better. Or a law graduate and... Because it doesn't seem like the tone of... This is like an overly concerned father's voice. I think a motivational speaker would be much better, in my opinion. So, actually nail that down really quickly. I think, yeah, I know somewhere I lost 2 marks, but rationale should be 2 out of 2. I probably lost it in criterion B. I got 7 here, and criterion D, I got 4 here. But actually nail it down is, nailing it is pretty hard. Yeah, you just has to... It's hard, but you gotta balance it right. Make a clear persona, make it a clear intended audience, make it a clear ending. Clear end goal. Like, know who you are talking to, and know your own persona well, and make it easy. Not like mine, it's pretty tough and difficult, but make it so it's links to each other pretty well. And so, yeah, so that's basically it. You can follow, don't copy and paste this, and include your bibliography and include your photo appendix for your primary text. Make it good layout so the examiners can read it well. Include your word count, rationale, and and that's about it. Thank you for watching, and hopefully the sample has helped you and learned from my mistakes. Hopefully you guys can get 20 out of 20. See ya.